right, kids. Well, I am coming to you from the field out here in Anvil and back of the church. Man, I wish with all this virus stuff going on that we could be in person. I really do. But this year just looks different, doesn't it? It's like everything this year looks a little bit different. So I want to do a video that I can only do outside. I couldn't have done this if I was inside of the library. We would have broken something. From what I hear, the theme of the library this year is about myths and legends. Maybe someday there'll be a legend about this time of coronavirus and everything that we've gone through. Maybe people will be telling stories and legends about that. But for me, when I think about myths and legends, I think of that a lot through the lens of the stories that my girls like. I have two girls, one is 5 and one is 8. And one of the things that I've always found a little disappointing in some of those stories of legends and myths is how it seems like always there's a male character that has to save a female character. It drives me nuts. Because here's the thing, right? You don't need the boy to come and help you, right? The girl can help herself if she has a little bit of science knowledge behind her. What do you guys think when I say catapult? Do you think that something complicated with like a rope that's all wound up to create tension to catapult something? Have you guys ever heard of a trebuchet? This is a trebuchet. Now I need to admit that I didn't make it. Michael Shear made it. I'm just borrowing it. It's one of the coolest toys I've seen. Imagine, let's say, that there was a girl trapped inside of a castle and the boy had to come save her. You guys know that story. It's all too common of a story. What if there was a way she could get herself out of that castle without needing a boy? What if she had a little bit of science? A trebuchet is such a cool thing because all it needs is just one little pivot. There's only one pivot point on a whole trebuchet. There's nothing wound up. There's no motors. There's no anything like that. There just is this one pivot point, and it has a long arm on one side and a short arm on the other. And at the end of that short arm are weights. Now this is 20 pounds of weight on the end of this. You can see this is a really simple thing to build. But when I pull the pin, what happens is that the weight on this short arm acts to flip the long arm at quite a rate of speed. And it's going to send our projectile flying. Now, watch this. I'll reset it. I'll do it again. But are you ready? Here we go. There it goes. It just landed about 20 feet, maybe 25 feet out there in the church field. Do you know what that means? It's just a little bit of science. A little bit of science makes all of this work. All we need is just a little bit of weight, right? So if we reset this again, and I have my projectile here at the end of a rope, all it needs is just one little pin to try to set it and send it out. If I reset that again, and if I put my launch pin into it, right? Now that keeps the weight up in the air. See, gravity is your friend on this because what gravity says is what goes up must come down. We're putting that heavy weight up in the air. That's the part that wants to be at the bottom. So when gravity takes over, it flips that long arm and sends our projectile flying. Here's the thing I want each and every one of you to remember. If we have a little bit of scientific knowledge, if we have a little bit of knowledge of physics and how the world operates and how the world works and what the laws are that govern that, this is using mechanical advantage of leverage. It's using gravity. It's using a pivot point. It's using all those basic, simple scientific principles to achieve launching something down the field. If we have science in our heads, then there is probably nothing that we can't really do. We can always find a way to achieve what it is that we want to achieve. You want to send one more thing before I close the video? All right, we're going to send one more thing. I have one last projectile to launch. Let's see here. This is a piece of wood. Now the wood doesn't weigh as much as the metal, so it may not go as far downfield as the rest of it. So I'll set it again. Got to put my launch pin in place. Set my projectile. Are you ready? You guys have a good summer, and I can't wait to see you next year. There it goes. The girl can always save herself with a little bit of science. You guys have a great summer. I'll see you next year.